Hello, everyone, and welcome to Varsity Aces Live. I'm sports writer Greg Mattura for NorthJersey.com and The Record. Tonight's topic, we take a look back at the oh-so-crazy North Jersey boys and girls basketball seasons. We have guests who somehow managed to survive not only the pandemic, but survive all their opponents and go undefeated. And then at the end of the show, we'll be looking at a Legends video. So let's bring in our guests. First, from Pascack Hills, they went 14-0. There was no team in New Jersey boys basketball that posted a better record. We have Coach Paul DeRico and Senior Jacob Morales. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Greg.
And then on the girls' side, we have the Unbeaten Ramapo basketball team. They went 15-0. The only boys or girls team to run the table with an undefeated season. Say hello to Coach Sandy Gordon and Senior Lauren Achter. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for having us, Greg.
My pleasure. All right. I'm feeling the undefeated vibe here. I'm feeling pretty good with it. First question to the coaches. What kind of expectations did you have, if any, heading into a season in which I use the word quarantine in a story more than I ever could have imagined? I hope I never have to again. Sandy, let's start with you.
Honestly, we weren't really sure what to expect. With it was just, we knew we were hoping to get 15 games in, but anything we played was going to be a bonus. So, it really was just appreciate every day, every practice that we were together, and hope we could survive. And, we were fortunate that we did get 15 in.
Paul, same question, over to you.
Yeah, my answer isn't much different. We just took one game at a time. We weren't really thinking about going undefeated or anything like that. We were just trying to stay healthy, to be honest with you, and have good practices and get better every day and every week. And somehow we managed to stay healthy and improve and develop, and ended up having quite a nice year.
Same question over to the players. Jacob, we'll start with you. What kind of expectations, if any, did you have coming into this season?
We weren't really expected to have a good year. I think going into it, I think the coaches and players knew we had a lot of talent on the team, but it was a matter of staying healthy and just being able to play those games. And obviously no one expected to go undefeated, but it was really nice to do it. And but I think our expectations going in were just get as many games as possible. And yeah.
Lauren, same question, over to you.
Well, ending off last year was kind of sad because we never got to finish. So this year was all about unfinished business. That was like our logo this year. We really wanted to play as hard as we could with whatever time on the court we had. So, yeah.
Now, Lauren, of course, is referring to the fact that Ramapo is one of the few boys or girls basketball teams that were still standing at the end of last year when the season was halted due to the pandemic. They were headed to the Group 3 final, one win away from winning. So they actually have a 22-game winning streak, Sandy Gordon says, active, longest in the state. Second question. I was a little taken aback early in the season when I saw so many teams, again, going down under the Q word, which I hope I never have to say again, quarantine. Sandy and Paul, we'll start with Paul first this time. What's going through your mind as you're seeing teams in northern New Jersey and elsewhere in the state going down for 10 days, 2 weeks or more?
Yeah, well, first, my heart really goes out to those teams and to those student athletes. They put a lot of time in and they worked very hard, and to have that taken away because you had to quarantine, wherever the case may be. People are patting us on the back and saying that we did a great job of staying healthy, but the teams that had to shut down, they didn't do anything wrong. Some things you really can't control, and there's a little bit of luck involved, and I think everybody did their best. And but it was kind of scary, and to wake up every day wondering, checking my phone to see if Pascack Hills is shut down or if anyone's quarantined, whatever the case may be. That's kind of where we were at. That's how I felt anyway. Again, those other teams, my heart goes out to them. And all season long, we were trying to find replacement games. I mean, that was part of the issue as well. I've sent out numerous emails to all the North Jersey coaches. My athletic director was sending them across the state trying to find games, and it wasn't easy. Everyone was in the same boat, as you can imagine. And when you have games scheduled Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and you're not permitted to play three days in a row, it makes it very difficult to find two teams that could actually schedule games. So it was tough.
Sandy, same question. As the teams are going into quarantine all around us, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to echo a lot of what Paul just said. We started the year off in quarantine, so we were behind the 8 ball to start, and like you said, we were just lucky. Like I said, every day my AD would walk into practice, I was like, oh no, what now? We literally one game we were an hour before tip off, and a kid tested positive. So again, like your heart breaks for all those teams that didn't get to play a full 15. And it was again every day. Just our kids did a great job of buying into basically putting their social life on hold for 6 weeks and just buying into doing everything they could possible to stay healthy. Again, a lot of it was out of their control. We said, a sibling, a mom or a dad could bring it home, and it's nothing you can control. So to do what you could do, and same thing, reaching out to some of the southern schools to try to get games and just have some stuff on the backup if somebody did get shut. So it was, again, so we were just very fortunate to be able to get all 15 in, and we got 15 in, and then right now, unfortunately, our team right now is in a little bit of we had a little bit of an outbreak. I mean, we got it in, but all of a sudden now we have a couple kids that have tested positive. And so it's a little scary going on for us right now.
Hey, just because the season ended, 6 weeks, actually 40 days, doesn't mean the battle against COVID doesn't continue. We all have to be mindful of that.
Exactly.
To the players, during the season, what did you do a little bit differently than you did last season and the season before to stay safe? Maybe we start with you, Jacob.
I mean, the big thing really was that I preached the team along with the other captains was just avoid social gatherings. And the whole program did a really good job because it's not only the varsity team, but it's also the freshman JV teams that they get shut down, then we're shut down. So it took a whole program effort, but social gatherings were definitely a big one because that's on you. If you go to a social gathering and you get it there, that's your fault. But a lot of these other places, going to school and you can get shut down, that's on your fault. So a lot of it was just trying to control what you could control. And that's about it.
Lauren, same question. How did the pandemic impact your life away from the basketball court so that you could get back onto it?
Yeah, I mean, similar to what Jake was saying, we made a pact in the beginning of the season to mainly only see each other, limit who the other people we see. And we also made the decision, most of us made the decision to do virtual school. So that would prevent a lot of contact tracing.
Question for the coaches. I cover the boys side. I noticed there was a lot more diving on the floor this year. A lot of kids really working hard. And yet I'm happy to say that there was less dirty play, less chippiness. I think because people were sort of getting down to business, realized maybe you shouldn't be leaning on a kid after the whistle blows. Paul, do you want to talk about that? And Sandy, if you want to offer a thought from the girls' side. Paul, first with you.
Well, I think when the players, when they get on the court, I just think all bets are off and they all give 100%. But I do think there was a sense of camaraderie, I guess, amongst all the players and all the teams because we were all in the same boat and we're all trying to stay healthy. And, like I said, there was something to kind of bond over, believe it or not. It was interesting to see the players before and after games where normally a lot of them know each other from playing, together or against each other for years or travel leagues and playing AAU, et cetera. And it's, a lot of them want to go give each other a hug before and after games. And they couldn't do that. And we had to keep reminding teams, and in a good way, they were, trying to embrace and offer congratulatory, hugs and high fives. And we're grabbing kids after the game at half court saying, no, you got to stay on your side. We got to stay on ours. So, I think, like I said, when they were on the court, I think they all give 100%. They're all diving on the floor. But I do think there was a sense of respect and camaraderie amongst the players, for sure.
Sandy, your thoughts from the girls' side in regards to more diving on the floor and less elbows to the head?
Yeah, I didn't really necessarily see a big change in that. I mean, again, both teams were out there competing, giving 100%. I think it was great sportsmanship all the way around. And again, I think, both teams were in the same boat because, our motto was you got to play it like it's your last, because you don't know when you're going to get that call to say, hey, you're done for 2 weeks, or your career and or season could be done. So, it was just bring it every day and give an honest effort, because you just didn't know what tomorrow brought.
Going around the horn with this question, and that is the return of fans, specifically parents, to the games for the final 3 weeks of the season. Governor Murphy signing a law into effect allowing a limited number of people in, 2 per player, usually the parents. Who wants to go first? Talking about, actually, Jacob, I was at one of your games where the parents were allowed back in. Do you want to offer your thoughts on not playing in silence or relative silence?
The parents definitely added something, I mean, like, you would make a shot, and instead of hearing silence, you would just hear a parent maybe like, nice shot, Jake, or, like, it was nice to hear someone say something nice, because usually you got a packed gym that's supporting you. So it was definitely weird without the parents and without fans in general, but it was definitely nice to have them back. So,
Lauren?
I mean, before we had parents, we have like a really big bench squad, and they always gave their full support for us. So it was nice it was a nice addition for the parents, but we always had support the whole time.
Paul, your thoughts on having people back in your gym?
Listen, it was great to have some people in there, and I know the parents appreciated being allowed in the gym. I could tell you, we played Ramsey last Tuesday, and I was trying to pull up some game film on them, and our game against Ramsey in the state sectional final last year came up on YouTube, and I watched that game, and I have to tell you, that was an exciting game. I mean, that game was sold out, I think, by 2 p.m, and I kind of forgot what it was like. I watched that game. I almost watched it twice. It was, even though we lost, I missed that excitement. It was great to see all the student athletes and the student body, I should say, on both sides, really getting into it. It was so much excitement. And then when I finished watching that, I'm already looking forward to getting back to that atmosphere again next year. I can't wait.
Sandy, your thoughts on having a limited number of fans back in?
I mean, it was definitely nice. I mean, we played our state section final to like pretty much a packed house. And then our state semifinal last year, we were one of the first teams to play with no fans. So we ended the year with no fans, started the year with no fans. And then, the timing for us, we were just fortunate. It happened to be our senior day. So it was nice that for our senior day, we could have the parents there. It's nice to have all the parents there, but certainly for the senior parents, since this is the last go around, it was nice that they were able to, catch a good amount of games down the stretch. So, not the same, but better than nothing.
I found it odd. Usually during the state tournament, I get knocked on the floor and elbowed in the head a couple of times by the students, sometimes by the parents, but usually more by the students. So now you're both a couple of weeks into the season, 2 or 3 weeks into the season, and you're 5-0, 6-0, 7-0. What's going through your head? Lauren, let's start with you. What's going through your head as your team is 3 weeks into the season and you haven't lost a game yet?
Well, we had high expectations for ourselves coming into this season, so we started off strong. We kept wanting to go strong. We gave it all every single day, every single practice, and yeah.
Jacob?
I think once we hit like the 5-0, 6-0 mark, we kind of just taking it day at a time. That was our whole mindset the whole year, just taking it day at a time. So you have no idea when things get shut down. So we were just looking at the team we were playing next and just focusing on them and taking it game at a time. And eventually they add up and you finish 14-0. So it was good, but definitely just game at a time, just trying to focus on the team at hand.
Sandy, over to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to want to be cliche, but, I wasn't even getting myself caught up in it. Obviously our goal was to win every game. I might have even subbed a little differently, trying to, again, not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring, that I probably played, my seniors more than, and I didn't sub as much. But again, I really didn't, myself personally, I didn't really get caught up in it. I was just obviously trying to win every game, but wasn't really looking at, well, could we run the table or, just every day that we could play, I was just, we were blessed.
Paul, again, over to you. What do you think when you're 7-0, 8-0, 9-0?
Yeah, well, similar to what Sandy said, we had Dumont scheduled at the end of the season, and we weren't thinking that was going to be necessarily a win. That was going to be a tough matchup for us. The thought of going undefeated really didn't really sink in until I would say around the 10th game or so. We never discussed it. I will say that the first time the word undefeated was used was I'm going to guess around game 11, give or take a game. At halftime, we didn't play very well in the first half, and it was a close game at the half. And I was more animated than usual at halftime. And before I left the room, the last thing I said to my players was, you're about to, ruin a perfect season. You could go undefeated, you could win the league, and instead you're out here being selfish, looking for points and forcing up, rushing 3-point shots instead of playing the right way and doing what we do best and blah, blah, blah. But that's the first time it came out of my mouth in front of the boys. And I kind of, as I walked away from them, I was like, I didn't even want to bring that up to them. It just kind of came out. But we had a good third quarter. I think we outscored them 24-7. So we won the game. So I guess it's okay.
What was the most difficult challenge that you faced, either as a coach or as a player? Sandy, may we start with you?
You mean just through the season?
Correct.
Just that every day not knowing, like I said, I'm in practice and here comes my AD with his phone out, and I was like, oh my goodness, what's next? And just, again, every day hoping the kids are going to be healthy, making sure they're doing their COVID, just a lot of like behind the scenes, like stuff that you didn't have to normally worry about, instead of, watching game film, I'm worried about, are we going to play? Aren't we going to play? Who's our opponent going to be? And then, a drop of a hat, we're not playing Northern Highlands today. So tomorrow we're playing Riverdale, and you just go with it. It was just, we were happy to pick up a game and play. So it wasn't as much maybe detailed to some of the scouting reports and that stuff. So some of that kind of stuff, a little different.
Paul?
Could you repeat the question again, Greg? I'm sorry.
Sure. What was the most challenging thing that you faced during the course of the season?
Most challenging. I think Sandy said the same thing. It's just not knowing made things very difficult. Every day you don't know if you're going to have practice that day for season's over, and if the seniors played their last game, et cetera. Just not knowing, I would say, and being concerned about the health of the team.
Lauren, again, most challenging thing for you this season?
Probably just staying mentally tough and getting through every game, every practice, just like thinking we're going to play, but like also be ready if you don't. It's like it kind of wears on your mind a little bit, especially being a senior. So I would say mental toughness.
Jacob, same question?
I would say keeping the team focused. I think like after we got a few wins, the team can maybe get a little too overconfident and think, we don't have to try our hardest this game. And I think like some halves, in the first half, we come out a little sluggish, and I think that was because we got a little too confident in ourselves. And I think that at halftime, coach definitely did a good job reminding us that we got to give 100%, otherwise we're not going to beat anyone. So I think just keeping the team focused and keeping them hungry and just trying to win every game, that was definitely the toughest part.
All right, last question to everyone, which, and that is, as you look back a couple of months from now, a couple of years from now, maybe even, 8, 10, 12 years from now, what will each of you remember most about this pandemic-filled, 40-day season where the most you could play was 15 games, and you went unbeaten? Lauren, may we start with you?
Sure. I think one of the most memorable things I will keep in mind is the relationships that I built with my teammates, because they're so special to me. And I think we wouldn't have got as far as we did without our team chemistry and just our togetherness.
Sandy?
I mean, for me, the last 2 years, this is a special group. Last year, I didn't have any seniors. This year we have 8. So again, the tremendous year we had last year, and then continuing it right on this year. It's just as a special group. And I think Lauren hit it, special bonds. And I think our success on the court was just, a credit to them and, them buying in and trusting each other. And girls and drama doesn't mix. And this group, they left it off the court. And when they were on the court, they were as one. And I think that was a big reason for our success.
Jacob, same question. What are you going to remember as you look back?
Obviously it's easy to remember, we went undefeated. But I think what I'm going to remember the most is the guys just showing up every day and working hard. And I think, if you remember the hard work that it took to get to the undefeated season, I think that's the most important thing. So I definitely remember just the work we put in to get to that point. So,
Paul, final word. How are you going to view this season when you look back?
Yeah, my answer is very similar to Jake's. It's to me, I'll look back and remember the players. They were just awesome. I had a special group of boys, and I came to practice probably 10 minutes early every day, and I was probably the last one there. They were always there. They were always early. They didn't want to leave the gym. A lot of them were, kind of, staying in their homes and not doing much else. They were so happy to see each other. They were so happy to come to practice. You could tell they didn't want to leave the gym. Even the last game, I don't think Jake and I wanted to leave the gym afterwards. We walked out to our car together and had a nice conversation. And, it's what coaching is all about. I think it's the relationships and the communication that we had with a special group of young boys. And it seems like Sandy had the same thing over at Ramapo, which is it's great to hear. That's why we coach, I guess, right?
Yep.
All right, that wraps up the basketball portion of our show. I'd like to thank my guests again, Ramapo coach Sandy Gordon, senior Lauren Ochter, and then for Pascack Hills, we've got coach Paul DeRico and senior Jacob Morales. Thank you to all of you. I really appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on going unbeaten this season.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, so now we're going to transition over. We're going to bring in my teammate, Darren Cooper. Darren, are you there?
Right here, my friend. Tag.
Excellent. And Darren will be introducing round 2 of our Legends series. Tell us about it, Darren.
Well, thank you so much, Greg. Tonight, we're thrilled to be able to bring you the second episode of our North Jersey Legends series featuring incomparable wrestling coach Stan Woods. Woods started in Emerson in 1968, which is even before you started, Mr. Mattura. And since that day, he has won, and won some more. Along the way, Woods has literally provided the music to North Jersey wrestling and never lost his goal of helping kids get better. I want to take this chance to thank all the people who worked hard on this episode. They know who they are. And it is my honor to present to you now the world premiere North Jersey Legend Episode 2, Emerson-Park Ridge wrestling coach Stan Woods.
Emerson-Park Ridge High School, Stan Woods.
Emerson-Park Ridge wrestling coach Stan Woods is synonymous with two things: a special song played before every home match, and wins. Stan Woods wrestled for Roxbury High School in the 50s when it was just a club sport, and for 2 years in college at East Stroudsburg. He left with his degree and a burning desire to coach wrestling at the high school level. His first job coaching was at Randolph, and he won the first of now over 30 league championships. Woods was named head wrestling coach at Emerson in 1968, and it's been a journey of success and fun. After a 1976 match at West Essex, a bunch of the Cavos were impressed how the other team entered the mat to music. Woods encouraged his team to find a song they liked. They picked Born to Be Wild, and since then, every Woods team has run onto the mat with that song blaring. In 1989, Emerson merged its wrestling program with Park Ridge, creating a template for partnership and success that schools all over New Jersey have adopted.
I've been here for 21 years with Coach, coaching with him. He's the person in town that everybody looks at. You wrestled for Emerson, you wrestled for Stan Woods. 30 years from now, you come back, you're going to look up on the wall. It's not about you. You're going to point to your own children and say, hey, I was on that team, son. I was on that state championship team. I was on that league title. And that's how we keep the program going, because it's about the team. Our team does so well because they believe in one another.
The 2016 season may have been Woods' finest at the helm. That year, Woods went over the 700 win mark in New Jersey, and the school became the first public school program to win a state championship, when it edged Delaware Valley by 1 point to win Group 2. Woods has coached fathers and sons. He's a member of the NJSA Hall of Fame. The gym at Emerson now bears his name. He's the all-time leader in victories for a wrestling coach in New Jersey. He's done it all by remaining true to one motto, that hard work equals success. Stan Woods is a North Jersey legend. All right, there it is, Mr. Mattura, the debut of the second episode of our North Jersey Legends series. After tonight, it'll be all over NorthJersey.com and all our satellite sites. And you better believe, Mr. Mattura, we're already working hard on episode 3. Maybe some people you know, by the way. Maybe a Mr. Sullivan from Pagoda or Miss Donovan from Paramus Catholic. But we're really looking forward to working on that. And thank you, Greg, for allowing us to come on the show this week and debut the episode.
My pleasure. I mean, when Stan started as a coach, I was writing my stories with a crayon. Well, that about does it. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Greg Mattura for NorthJersey.com and The Record, and this has been Varsity Aces Live. Thank you so very much. Stay strong, New Jersey. Stay healthy. Stay safe.